Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Mumbles. Today, we're doing a game review. Oh yeah, a game review. Yeah. Today, we're reviewing Gunducky Industries. Now this game is basically, it's kind of a retro type game. It is basically a flying game in which the goal is to get from point A to point B while shooting and dodging targets. Now, jumping into the meat and bones of this, the graphics in this game, they're not really that great. Like I said, it's kind of a throwback to old retro type games, so it's not the greatest graphics, but they are serviceable, I guess you can say. Now, the soundtrack in this game, it's pretty simple. There's not a lot to it, so not really any complaints or anything really to say much there at all. And finally, the controls in this game are hard to use. There's momentum in this game, so when you move your plane, it moves, but it's sometimes hard to get back going the other way because there is momentum in this game. Momentum. So the controls are hard to use. It is hard to figure out how exactly to fly this plane. Now, let's talk about the gameplay. This is a very simple game. There's not a lot to it. There's not really any story. There's not a lot to this game. And, you know, for its price, it's a good game, but I gotta be honest, gameplay-wise here, there's not a lot to talk about. Basically, all you do is shoot the targets and fly straight so that you don't hit anything. That's your two objectives, that's your two goals. There's not much more to this game. This game is difficult because of how difficult it is to fly things. It is still a fun game, but there's not a lot to it more than that. There's really nothing more to say about this game. It is exactly what it looks like. It is a flying game where you shoot things, and that's it. Now, there is all different kinds of enemies, but they do get repetitive. And really, like I said, that's all there is to the game. So now, talking about the cons, and this game's got a lot of them. First off, first con, no story. If this game had a story where it was telling you, you know, go from point A to point B, do this, do that, you're doing this because of this, all the evil ducks are after you, you know what I mean? Then I could kind of be like, okay, I can get behind this, even though it's not the great, I can get behind it. But it doesn't have a story, so that is our first negative point. Second negative point is repetitive enemies. The enemies in this game are very repetitive. It's just the same enemy, same enemy, same enemy. Oh, there's a duck in the water. Oh, there's a duck in the water. Oh, there's a duck flying now. Oh. I like varieties, and having the same enemies over and over and over and over got very annoying for me. Now, another con to this game is the difficulty of the controls. This game is just hard to control overall, as I've said a couple times now. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to die and you're going to get frustrated. I had an entire 10 minutes where I was stuck in like an endless loop. I could not get my plane turned the right way. And it gets frustrating when that happens. Now, really all the stuff to ask is, what is this going to get on our Mumbles? Now, I got to preface this by saying, normally, I think I'm generous with reviews. But when something comes along, and I do think this could be a great game, but it's missing things. It's like it got rushed out the door. I gotta be honest and give you guys an honest review because I'm all about bringing you guys honest games and honest reviews. So on this game, because of all the negatives in it, I have to give it a 4 out of 10. Now, with that being said, this is not an expensive game. You should definitely check it out if it's even somewhat interesting to you, because it is a fun game. It just can't stand up to AAA titles, single A. It's like if I went into my garage right now and made a game. That is what this game reminds me of. I'm sorry, but it does. 4 out of 10. I know it's a low score. It's still a pretty decent game. If this was a mobile game, this would be a great game. But for a PlayStation game, it's hard to rank it against all these other games. So anyways, guys, this has been another episode of Mumbles. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me. Please smack that subscribe button, smack the like button, smack all those buttons. Now we'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.